Do you love eating dates? Well, have you ever wondered how the dates palms are cultivated and harvested? Let's learn a bit about dates and date palms. Dates are a desert palm tree's fruit and are a popular food in the Middle East and can be found in abundance in the desert and near oases. Without date palms, many parts of the Middle East would be uninhabitable. It is one of the few desert crops that grow. Date palms are known as the tree of life. Date palms are highly valued because they provide an abundance of food in a harsh environment. The trees grow very large, produce fruit for an extended period of time, and can withstand long droughts and extremely high temperatures. An ancient Egyptian proverb states, "A date palm is God's only creation that resembles a man." Unlike other trees, a date palm produces more as it ages. Date palm trees can grow to be 100 feet tall. They have strong, straight trunks that appear to be covered in bumpy scales. The leaves are feather-shaped and can grow 12 to 18 feet long. Every year, about 12 or 20 leaves are produced. They can live for many years before turning brown and dying. Date cultivation. Dates are the most important oasis and desert cash crop. They are harvested from palm trees and dried in the sun before being stored for the winter, when they provide food for a family and help herds of camels, goats, and sheep. For generations, the same family has cared for date palms. Unfortunately, the cost of transporting dates from oases to ports where they can be shipped is prohibitively expensive. Date palms grow well in high alkali and salty soil and water, and they require little care. They are grown from shoots and typically bear fruit in 4 to 8 years. Traditionally, the most difficult aspect of growing dates has been getting the fruit down from the top of the tree. Date palms must be pollinated individually, and the fruit must be picked by hand. Traditionally, these tasks have been performed by men who used ropes to climb the trees like lumberjacks or by young boys who are limber enough to shimmy up the trees barefoot. The scales on the trunk protrude far enough to serve as footholds. As a result, the date industry suffers as more boys get an education and pursue other careers. Nowadays, dates are frequently harvested using cherry pickers and mechanical buckets, similar to those used by men installing telephone lines. There are date palm varieties. There are over 3,000 different types of date palms in the world. However, not all are grown commercially. Haloe, Medjut, Shamran, Sayer, Hayani, Kadroi, and Sadie are soft-fleshed. Zahidi, Thuri, Nor, Deglet, and Dayari have dry and semi-dry flesh. Haloe, Barhi, Chip-Chap, Kip-Cap, Burim, Shaker, and Shahani are non-astringent. Kadroi, Zahidi, and Medjut are Chahara makers. Zahidi is a pined kajur maker. Date palms can be found in the wild all over the world. What is the climate required? The climate is especially important in date palm production. A long summer, a warm winter, no rain during flowering and fruiting, low relative humidity, and plenty of sunlight are all required. Wild dates can grow to heights of 1,500 meters. As a result, the date palm is one of the most important crops in the Middle Eastern deserts, according to Dr. S.P. Singh's book, Fruit Crops for Wasteland. The date palm likes to have its head in fire and its feet in the water. The expression implies that the date palm crop benefits from both heat, hot, dry climate, and water, proper irrigation. Dusty breezes are beneficial to the tree, but they lower the quality of the fruit. Above 70 degrees Fahrenheit is the ideal temperature for flowering and fruiting. For proper ripening, temperatures above 80 must be maintained for less than a month. And the soil required? Date palm cultivation is possible in a variety of soil types. Sandy loam and well-drained soils with no hardpan below 60-90 centimeters and a pH of 8 to 10 are ideal. Although date palm farming is possible in saline and alkaline soil, growth and yield suffer. What's the mode of propagation? Offshoots or suckers. The most common mode of propagation. Offshoots should be harvested from the mother tree's base. After 4 to 5 years of planting, the sucker must be separated. Between the 4th and 10th years of the tree's life, you can expect to see 9 to 20 suckers weighing 9 to 15 kg. A single date tree can produce 10 to 25 offshoots over the course of its productive life. This is a slow multiplication process with a high yield. Farmers avoid using seeds as a method of propagation because the fruits are of poor quality. In addition, more than half of the fruits produce non-bearing males that cannot be multiplied in the future. Tissue culture. This technique promotes date palm multiplication. Now comes the sowing process. Start with soil preparation. Soil should be plowed 2 to 3 times. Then, bring it to a fine tilth stage by leveling it. During the summer, dig 1-meter pits to prepare for the monsoon. Allow the pits to remain open for 15 days. Then, fill the pits with well-rotted FYM, farmyard manure, plus soil. Carry out the plantation. Planting season is best in February and March. This allows the plant to benefit from the hot summer months fully. However, in Kutch areas, where the majority of production occurs in India, plantation occurs at the start of the monsoon season. Irrigation requirement. Immediate irrigation is required following the plantation. Date palm production is unaffected by drought or over-irrigation. Both, however, are dangerous. The date palm prefers consistent moisture levels in the soil. On the other hand, waterlogged soil should be avoided. Irrigation is not required during the monsoon season. If there is a flood, the water should be drained. 5 to 6 irrigations per year are sufficient in areas with a high water table. It is critical to irrigate the soil immediately after planting. After the offshoots appear, you can reduce the frequency of irrigation. It's a great idea to mulch with dried leaves and grasses. This helps to retain soil moisture, which is especially important in arid and semi-arid climates. Intercropping. Date palm plants have a very long lifespan. It is simple to intercrop pulses like gram, peas, lentils, and vegetables. Pomegranate and papaya are also cultivable. While intercropping, make sure you have additional irrigation and nutrients in place. Pruning. Pruning is required for date palm cultivation in order to keep a sufficient number of green leaves for optimal growth and harvest. Scientists predict that the tree will have 7,5,100 leaves when it reaches the bearing stage. This means that no pruning is required for the first 4 to 5 years because only up to 20 leaves are produced annually. Maintaining an appropriate leaf-bunch ratio is critical for improving fruit quality. The humidity rises when the ratio is high, allowing blacknose disease to develop in dates. Pollination. In nature, date palm trees are dioecious and heavily cross-pollinated. It only takes 5 to 10% of male plants to pollinate 100 female plants. Pollination is done by hand or machine in commercial date palm production. 3 male flower strands are inserted into each female flower strand. Pollination is an important agricultural method in date palm cropping because it influences the size and quality of the fruits as well as when they ripen. Fertilizers. Rain-fit areas require 30 to 40 kFIM and 200 grams each of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK, per tree. Irrigated areas require 50 to 60 FIM and 200 grams NPK per tree. In September and October, use the entire FYM, half of the N, and the entire P and K. In January and February, apply the remaining half of the M. Rotting leguminous cover crops can be used for green manuring. Pests and diseases. The pests are red weevil or Indian palm weevil, black-headed caterpillar, scale insects, rhinoceros beetle or black palm beetle, and birds. Diseases are false smut or graphiola leaf spot and other similar fungal diseases. Use of fungicide and Bordeaux mixture is helpful. Harvesting. Harvesting is done according to growth and ripening stages. This is due to the fact that dates are consumed at various stages of maturity. Therefore, the fruit can be harvested at the following stages of ripening. When the fruit is green and still growing, it goes by the names Gandora and Kimri. When the fruit has grown to full size, the color has changed from green to red or yellow. It goes by the names Dora and Kalal. When the tip of the fruit begins to soften, it's known as Dang or Rutab. When the fruit is fully mature and sufficiently dry to be stored without rotting, it is referred to as pined or tamar. Yield. The date palm tree usually begins to bear fruit in the 4th year. It begins to produce a good yield, with proper care and cultivation practices, in the 5th year. A 10-year-old date palm tree can produce 50 to 60 fruits per year. A date palm tree that is 15 years old can produce 80 to 200 fruit per year. Yield varies according to variety, soil, area, and cultivation practices. Storage. Dates are typically harvested when they reach the cull stage, which has a high water content of up to 70% to 80%. As a result, they have a poor keeping quality at room temperature. Keeping it cold is the best way to preserve its quality. To maintain their freshness and crunchiness, they should be sold as soon as possible. In order to create value-added goods, they must be cured and processed. Dried dates have a longer shelf life, lasting up to a year. Share your views in the comments below and subscribe for more. Views in the comments below and subscribe for more. Views in the comments below and subscribe for more. Views in the comments below and subscribe.